What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Dark Lord Necro, and today I'm going to be talking to you about some helpful tips to help you out with the newest game that's going to be dropping tonight for the open beta test on Steam. We're talking Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2. This game has been out for a few years already on the PlayStation Network, involving PlayStation 4 and 5 with crossplay between the two of them. This game has been more competitive and a little bit more advanced than some of the games that you would see with the Gundam franchise. Gundam Evolution, great game. Unfortunately, it is not nearly as fast-paced or as complex as this particular game is going to be, plus with the amount of customizations that you're going to be able to do. In this game, it's not uncommon to see games to go from a free-for-all to a 4v4 to a 5v5, 6v6, etc., until you get a different kind of a mix-up type of combo of matches that you get to participate in. Is there a competition in this? 100%. Is there casual play in this? Absolutely. There's all kinds of things and potentialities with this game, and for a free game, it's pretty awesome. Is this a gacha game? 100%, but it's obviously one of the most forgiving gacha games out there, and I know you've probably heard that among a billion other people that are simping for all kinds of gacha games. This one I can absolutely attest to because I've been playing this for over 3 years now, I believe, and still going on. In this game, you have more options to win in this by getting the various different types of mobile suits that you want to play with, or whatever kind of combat situations that you want to play with with your friend group. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of helpful tips to help you get kickstarted for tonight when this goes live at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here today, the 16th of January. Tip number 1. You're going to lose, and that's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. You're going to die in this game. Go ahead and accept that, and once you do, you're going to realize that the game is going to be a lot more easier as you go through. Play a lot more clear-headed and a lot more relaxed, and you'll start to see those dubs tick up a lot quicker than those L's. Now, the best way to actually kind of encapsulate and how to get those dubs while you're still being chill and everything is to realize that you don't want to just charge in automatically and get yourself killed. That will happen, as you will see in some of my videos that I'm sharing in the background of this. What is more appropriately done is a little bit of a range play, kind of sneaking around, kind of getting yourself set up in a strategic situation, so that way when your enemy team slips up, you guys get the advantage, and the more points your team wins, which you can see up there in the top, the higher chance you have at winning at the end of the match. In fact, the team with the higher points at the end of the match always wins, but it doesn't mean I haven't seen matches in with a 5-point difference out of tens of thousands of points involved in it. Tip 2. Leveling up your suit. Every day on Twitch, aka twitch.tv/DarkLordNecro, you will see people come by and ask me, well, Necro, I'm new to this game, how do I level up my suit? I just have a noob question for you. That's not an entirely noob question. Even I had that question when I first started playing this, and to be honest, it is kind of confusing. There are a few things that you need to pay attention to when you're picking the suit that you want to play as. The level. Does the level mean that it's better for the cost? No. Does the cost represent anything? Yes. Cost, which goes from 100 up to 700, represents what kind of mobile suit you can bring into the game at max. There are unrestricted matches that you can play as well, where there is no cap on it whatsoever. Now, what does the level mean for the mobile suit? Well, if you see a suit that has a level 1 and it says 350, case in point, we'll look at the E3 Custom. The E3 Custom at level 1 comes in at 350. It is a raid. It's a powerful suit. I highly recommend popping off with that one as soon as possible if you get a chance. But maybe you might want to start off with something a little bit easier if you haven't played this game in a hot minute or ever at all. Start with supports, go to general, then evolve to a raid. The 350 E-Freak Custom at level 1 means that it was absolutely fine-tuned for any match that starts at 350. If it's a 400 cost match, it may not survive as well. However, the level 2 variant of it goes up by 50 points on that cost, meaning that it's probably going to survive a little bit better, depending on the pilot themselves. Tip 3. The modes of play. Check out the different types of matches there are. There is a lot of them. We have Brawl, which is a free-for-all match where everybody is trying to kill everyone to get the most points at the end of it. There's Basic, which is the most common one that you're going to see, where it's usually a team versus a team. You capture points, and those are your beacons that you get to use for respawning and calling airstrikes. You can also bomb the enemy base to get an extra bonus amount of points, which you can see that's listed above, right below the base health, below the total score for your team currently in this video. Killing the enemy team will get you the points allotted for basically whatever its cost is. So if the suit cost is 700, and you kill it, you get 700 points, but it also accounts for any additional assistant points and so on and so on. So if you kill it by yourself, you're only getting 700 points. If you and a teammate kill it, you get 700 points plus the assist points on top of that. On top of all those particular various types of modes of play, there's even more beyond that. Simple means that there are no bases. All the points are captured. The only thing is an absolute all-out just go after each other, kick each other's ass. The cool thing about simple play is that you can repair basically anywhere. You just have to crouch in your mobile suit. And if you haven't noticed, you should probably do the tutorials, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Tip number 4. AV farming. AV farming is absolutely one of the more awesome and impressive ways to really get some advantages early out of the gate. You'll see every now and then at the sortie counter custom matches. If you select it, don't be surprised, you'll see a large list of different matches that are currently going on for various different parameters. Look for a mix-up match that usually says A wins 650 up. If you do that and you sortie up with a 650 cost suit or higher, that match is probably going to end in about 30 seconds, and there was a reason why. These matches are super quick, super fast. It gets everybody the daily missions that you get to get your tokens and get your monthly missions done, to get recon crates. All these things are super awesome and helpful to have. And plus it gets you some experience, which is pretty damn good. And it lets you do some serious leveling, as it were, as a pilot. If you see this kind of a match and you want to participate in it, make sure you pick or pay attention to what team you're on. If you're on Team A, guess what? You're going to Team B and you're just slaughtering them. If you're on Team B, your only job is to sit your ass still and make sure you die in the quickest, fastest way possible, which may mean that you have to jiggle your movements left and right every so often, so that way you don't get timed out. Once Team B is completely obliterated, the match ends, everybody gets their points, including the losing team, and we all move on and do the same thing. Pay attention to this though, because if your host is doing it correctly, everybody should be paired up into each team randomly to give each other a 50-50 chance at being a Team A or Team B. Tip number 5. Now this is a pretty big one that I think everybody needs to pay attention to because this is super important to really go over. It's DP, or the difference between all the different currencies. You have DP, recycle tickets, and tokens. Tokens being the absolute bar none the most valuable currency that you'll get, and you get this every day just by doing your missions as you normally would. Usually it takes at most 3 missions, win or lose, and you're still going to get them no matter what. You can also get these tokens through doing advanced tutorial missions, battle simulations, limited time missions, promotion missions, etc., etc. These tokens come in pretty frequently. What do you do with them? Every 3 of those, you get to do a single pull for whatever the banner suit is, which is the new flavor suit of the week, which means it's usually something that's not quite yet been dropped into the game and probably has some kind of competitive advantage against all the other players. So it's probably a good idea to pick this particular currency up as soon as possible. Put a lot of preference into that. If you collect 30 of these tokens, you get to do a 10 pull. A 10 pull allows you to do a lot more realistically. The 10 pull allows you to get, well, 10 pulls from the gacha system and a chance to get probably the newest, most awesome mobile suit that you'll find, or something that you can't just readily buy with the other currencies, which is perfectly fine. Sometimes they'll do a limited mission or a limited promotion where if you do a 10 pull, it's half off, meaning that you only pay 15 tokens instead of 30. These are always almost a really good investment. Right out of the bat, you're saving yourself a lot of grief. So often at times, it's good to save up your tokens, but if there's a half off, maybe drop the 15 tokens. You might get something good out of it, really. It's actually worth it. Generally speaking, you're going to see some 4-star suits that are going to be dropping into the game, especially on Steam. If you see these 4-star suits and they announced it, there's usually a 7-step campaign for that where it will automatically give you the mobile suit, plus an additional badass item that you can't normally get no matter what. So I would highly recommend getting or saving your tokens for something like that. These generally happen usually in the fall, during the anniversary, in August, or during winter, where we see something else along those lines, more for the New Year's Eve type event. And we might also see something during the spring event, which is coming up fairly soon at the time of this recording. You only need 210 tokens in order to save up to get all that and then some, and it's totally worth it. You don't have to. You can just not do it. You can save it. You can probably even get the 4-star mobile suit out of a recon crate, which I have done multiple times. Absolutely recommend doing it however you want to do it, but if for the best bang for your buck, save up your tokens, do it whenever you want to, or if it's a mobile suit that you really want. If you want to know what the mobile suit can do, some really helpful resources. Go to the GBO2 subreddit, where it is a unofficial Reddit where a lot of us will probably leak what the current mobile suit for the week's skills and weapons and stuff that it has is able to do. DP. DP is the standard base unit that you can use and save up. You get it after the end of every match except for free matches, where that's literally just a practice match anyways. And those kinds of things or that particular currency, whatever it stands for, allows you to purchase specifically mobile suits, weapons, optional parts, and some customization items. That's about it. This is not a finite resource. You can buy a lot. You can get a lot of it. I've had times where I've had multiple millions of DP and just never had a chance to really buy anything with it. But it's definitely worth it to take that DP and invest it into something that's worthwhile. Recycle tickets. Recycle tickets are also incredibly important to have and hold on to. These are usually given to you through getting duplicate mobile suits or weapons, or even possibly just certain promotion missions that you might get some extra recycle tickets out of that. Use these as a really important form of currency, because sometimes the company BB Studios will release, or Bandai Namco, whoever we want to blame for this, will release a special mobile suit that's either to a limited mission that you didn't have a chance to get it, or they released a special mobile suit to a token pack that you would have to pay actual currency money for, which is not necessarily a pay-to-win situation, because most of the time those mobile suits are not the best, but they are just a kind of fun variant to kind of spice things up. In that case, it usually takes about a year for that mobile suit to come to the recycled ticket shop. It's not going to be in the DP shop until much, much later after that. So saving those recycled tickets can definitely net you a really awesome mobile suit, maybe a weapon that's not readily available, or even possibly some different customization items that you haven't seen yet. So take the opportunity to use your recycled tickets on those. Tip number 6. Now, I know the last one was pretty lengthy to really discuss, but this tip is pretty quick and easy. Join a clan. That is the first thing you should do. There is a bar in the actual camp that you can go to. Talk to that guy. Search for a clan. Don't worry, we're going to have a clan of my own going on as well. If you want to join on that, that's perfectly fine. We'll have a few limited open options. Me, along with some other content creators, and as well as some other players that are involved within the community as well. Now, joining a clan has several perks to this. One, you get an additional 3 missions for the entire clan that's all shared. And those missions are usually play X amount of matches, win X amount of matches, do X amount of damage with this type of suit versus this suit. And those all tabulate over the entire week. If you for each step that you go up, you gain 1,000 DP, and then if you get to the A tier, you get a free token with that for each one of the 3. If your clan levels up, guess what? You also get a token as well with that. And sometimes they do promotional missions or promotional events where if your clan levels up, you get a bonus 3 tokens for that, which is a full spin or a full pull from the gacha system anyways. Remember, joining a clan is pretty helpful, and it can also help you get into clan matches, which can net you some pretty interesting rewards as well. Tip number 7. Tip number 7 is basically do your tutorials. There are 2 different places that you should really pay attention and go to. One of them is Carrie, or Tinda. Sorry, Tinda. Tinda is the one that sits in the middle of the map. She's like the 16-year-old girl who always who's the first person that you hear or talk to when the game first launches. What she's doing is trying to get you prepared with a tutorial, and then any further after that, you actually get bonus rewards for completing the additional missions, including DP, mobile suits, recycle tickets, and as well as tokens. Pay attention to that, because that can also net you a real quick, faster promotion throughout the monthly missions, which, trust me, if you want to know more about that, come by to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/DarkLordNecro, and I'll be more than glad to talk to you about that. Beyond talking to Tinda about the additional tutorials, there are other tutorials that you can do or additional things that you can do, including the battle simulations. There are 3 different ones, and they're updated ever so often, which can net you free mobile suits, DP, tokens, etc., etc., and there are leaderboards for completing it in a certain amount of time. Definitely hit those up. It's totally worth it, and a little bit of fun too, although they can be slightly aggravating at times. Finally, my final tip. Let's say you murk someone pretty hard in the match and they get aggro on you so hard in your DMs. Don't worry about it. If they sit there and they're like, 1v1 me, bro, laugh it off and just kind of give them the bird and tell that clown that 1v1 does not equate to skill, because it literally doesn't. In 1v1 situations, there isn't actually a skill situation involved into this. It only situationally shows how, without any impedance, you might be able to destroy another person. While this is a gameplay, the game is 100% based on teamwork, you don't really necessarily need people that 1v1 things as frequently. So you shouldn't have to worry too much about that. Although a lot of people will still be like, 1v1 me, bro? Whatever. It doesn't matter. Do it if you want to. It doesn't even really matter. If you win or if you lose, it really doesn't matter. Again, 1v1 situations in this game, very seldom do they ever occur. As you can see, I'm currently taking one person on who just jumped into who jumped on another teammate who was going after another person. There's never a 1v1 situation, realistically, unless you're sneaking around trying to be all ninja-like. But guess what? That's only going to get yourself killed. Lastly, there are going to be situations where you're going to be able to do 1v1s and 2v2s. That is a new type of mode that has just been recently launched. It's not bad, however, there are implications to it, such as you won't be able to finish certain missions with it, although you can still get some certain perks from it as well. Without further ado, that's all I have for you today. So for today, I'm going to just tell you this. Thank you all so much for being able to join in on this new awesome game. I hope you all enjoy it, and I will see you out there on the battlefield. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button here on YouTube, and if you really want to get some more tips and advice and maybe even some Easter eggs, come follow me on twitch.tv/darklordnecro, and I'll be more than glad to help you out and talk to you about the crazy adventures that I've gotten in with some of my friends and fellow content creators. Take care, have fun, we'll see you out there.